Okay, good afternoon, y'all. This is the man in the black mask, and he has a very good story to read indeed, which provides a glimmer of hope to Britney Spears, of course. Okay, Britney Spears Judge grants Bessemer Trust request to withdraw from conservatorship. This is a stepping stone in the right direction. I'm glad Britney Spears' voice is being heard. Okay, I am glad everybody's coming to a consensus that Britney is telling the truth once and for all. This is a stepping stone. It may not be the end, but it is the beginning. Everything that has a beginning has an end. And then the story as follows. Bessemer Trust requested to resign as co-conservator of Britney Spears' estate and new court filed. Bingo! Last night, a judge denied the singer's request to remove her father as conservator. Fucked up. Jamie Spears and Bessemer Trust have control over Britney Spears' estate, while professional conservator Jody Montgomery has control over her person. So that makes Jody Montgomery the legal guardian. Okay, I'm gonna once again read this part. Jamie Spears and Bessemer Trust have control over Britney Spears' estate, while professional conservator Jody Montgomery has control over her person. Now, speaking of Jody, she even supports Britney's request to end the conservatorship and says that she will back her. I hope she's telling the truth, man. Jody Montgomery. I sure hope she sticks to her word because most people like that don't stick to their words at times. Bessemer Trust's request to withdraw as co-conservator of Britney Spears' estate has been granted. A stepping stone in the right direction. Go, Britney. Happy freedom in the future. Hope they get you out at some point. According to a court document filed and obtained by USA Today on Friday, Judge Brenda Penny approved the wealth management firm's petition to resign as co-conservator of the pop star's finances alongside her father, Jamie Spears. The next court hearing in Spears' conservatorship case is still set for July 14th. And I hope that Jody Montgomery moves forward to terminate the guardianship. I really believe that she should get up off her ass and help Britney out once and for all. Help her get her freedom back. She can carry the scars, because a lot of us have scars and shit from something that happened in our childhood and everything else. But she does deserve to have a better life, okay? A scarred person can live just as good as an unscarred person, okay? Because we all have some form of fucking scars no matter what. I just don't think that people like us should be punished for them, let alone Brit. Bessemer Trust have requested to resign due to changed circumstances, according to court documents filed Thursday and obtained by USA Today. According to the documents, Bessemer Trust said they believe Spears' conservatorship was voluntary. I doubt that. And that she consented to the firm acting as co-conservator until the singer publicly revealed she wants the arrangement to end during an explosive court hearing on July 23rd. No, June 23rd. My bad. Following Spears' statement in court last week, during which she called the conservatorship abusive and said she is traumatized and depressed, Bessemer Trust said it has become aware that the conservatee objects to the continuance of her conservatorship and desires to terminate the conservatorship. Petitioner has heard the conservatee and respects her wishes, the court filing states. Again, this is a stepping stone in the right direction. So far, Britney killed one bird with one stone. I want to see her kill three birds with one stone, because she already killed one, which is Bessemer Trust. Now, she has to take that same stone and kill the remaining two birds, James Spears and Jody Montgomery. One down, two to go. Okay? USA Today has reached out to Bessemer Trust and attorneys for Britney and Jamie Spears for comment. Bessemer Trust was appointed co-conservator of Spears' estate in November, which wasn't too long ago, when this pandemic was still raging, alongside the singer's father, Jamie Spears. But the firm said in court documents Thursday that they were not issued letters of conservatorship and not currently authorized to act. Bessemer Trust said they have made no decisions as conservator, received no assets of Spears' estate, or taken any fees as co-conservator. Unlike James Spears himself, he took all the fucking fees. And he's enjoying the wagon train real fucking well. That meat wagon, of course. He likes to eat for free. He don't like to get up off his ass and do nothing. So he decides to use this as an opportunity to live off Britney's fucking money, of course. Fucking slacker. Professional conservator Jody Montgomery has control over her person. It's also worth noting that a conservator of the person is more typically referred to as a legal guardian. So Just say that Jody Montgomery is Britney Spears' legal guardian, since Montgomery oversees Britney's personal welfare in general. This news comes one day after a judge denied the singer's request to remove her father as sole conservator, according to court documents filed by Britney Spears' attorney Samuel Ingham III, obtained by USA Today. However, Wednesday's court filings were mainly intended for Judge Brenda J. Penny to approve Bessemer Trust as Britney Spears' co-conservator. The Conservatives request to suspend James P. Spears immediately upon the appointment of Bessemer Trust Company of California as sole conservator of a state is denied without prejudice, the Wednesday court documents read. Actually, right. Last week, Britney addressed the court herself for the first time in more than 2 years in an emotional 20-minute speech. Until now, the pop singer had remained relatively mum on her 13-year conservatorship. Now, I'm going to comment a little further. I am glad that Britney gave some riveting testimony about the bizarre circumstances concerning the conservatorship. And saying the living conditions were very hurtful, I do believe she was telling the truth. Even if she did overstate a few things, I nevertheless believe she's telling the truth. I'm glad she was frank about this whole bullshit process that was instituted into law thanks to the founding fathers that made this shit a possibility and a legality, as she said. I'm not here to be anyone's slave, the singer said while appearing in Los Angeles court remotely by a telephone. I've lied and told the whole world I'm okay and I'm happy. It's a lie. I thought that maybe if I said it enough, I would maybe become happy because I've been in denial. I've been in shock. I am traumatized. I'm so angry it's insane and I'm depressed. If this was me, the net result would be the same. If this was you two would be fucked up over this thing. This draconian legal practice that has fucked up so many lives, man, and left so many contemplating suicide. Jesus Christ. Penny thanked the singer for her remarks, which she called courageous, but made no further comment. I say it's riveting, the man in the black mask. He says it's riveting. A riveting performance. If this was a movie that Britney did, guess what? She'd win an Oscar, just like Frances McDormand did with Nomadland. In November, Penny declined to rule on Britney Spears' legal efforts to regain control over her life and end her conservatorship. At the time, the judge said the singer lacked adequate documentation to free herself of the conservatorship, citing additional evidence by supplemental declaration or additional documentation was needed. Yeah, this is what the judge said. Additional evidence by supplemental declaration or additional documentation was needed. Now, I am happy that this is a step in the right direction, okay? I'm glad Britney's word is finally getting out. I'm glad Bessemer Trust understood the changed circumstances surrounding Britney's testimony and their desire to retire from co-conservatorship of Britney's estate. So this leads us to James Spears in question, the same piece of shit that brung this shit on in the first place when she had that meltdown 13 years ago that brung all the shit on, of course, and the legal challenges that soon followed. Okay? Now, I forgot to tell you yesterday in my video that back in 2019, right, which is a year and a half ago, pre-corona, of course, James Spears slapped one of his young grandsons during an argument, during which point Britney and her conservatorship team sought restraining orders against him. Okay? And I definitely understand where Britney came from. I do believe she was abused as both a child and an adult. Not only did she not have a childhood, she didn't have an adulthood because of this piece of shit conservatorship. Okay? Her fucking father brung this shit on, took advantage of her when she was going through her shit. Wouldn't even let her suffer. He'd rather fucking punish his daughter for suffering, but yet it's okay for fucking people like James Spears to suffer and not have to face the consequences. But when it came to Britney, he couldn't handle that shit. So he did whatever the fuck he did to get her money and so that he could sit on his fucking ass and fart on the couch all day or whatever the fuck it is he's been majoring in and live off of Britney's fucking fortune. Something that James Spears didn't even work for not one fucking time, except for as conservative. That's like him mooching off the government. He's a fucking slacker, for Christ's sake. There's too many fucking assholes that mooch off the government and don't want to do shit with their lives. And that shit fucking pisses me off. And I know James Spears is one of the slackers that would rather mooch off the government or other people rather than be productive citizens. Anybody else would have put a bullet in his fucking head, of course, for what he did to him. I mean, thank you, Britney Spears. Thank you. One down, two to go. Now get rid of James Spears and Jody Montgomery, and you're a free woman, baby, as Martin Luther King would say. Free at last. Free at last. The chickens are finally coming home to roost. Somebody is going to pay for what happened to Britney. I know somebody fucked up, and it ain't Britney. The first time around, she did fuck up, but the second and third and fourth time around and beyond, she didn't fuck up. She did the right thing, and only the right thing. Told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help her God. Okay? I'm glad she's getting out the extinguisher, the fire extinguisher, and she's putting out the flames that is still fucking raging to the day. Okay? Keep that fire extinguisher on you. You're going to need that, Britney. The fire is still burning. Put out as much fires as you can, because you already put out the fires of Bessemer Estate. Because if they didn't benefit from this, they shouldn't have petitioned to be a co-conservator in the first place if they didn't stand to gain nothing from this. And I'm glad that the Bessemer Trust Fund gained nothing from Britney's conservatorship. So I think it was just a fucking waste of time. Because it was James Spears that was the one that was doing the benefit. And Jody Montgomery, her being Britney's guardian, you can tell she definitely benefited from this. So you don't hear nothing much about her. And you will eventually. See, I like these stories. I like covering stories about broken legal practices. Because that was a product of a broken legal system. No, not the guardianship or the conservatorship, but the criminal justice system, because that's part of the government, an ill-structured government on how it treats minorities in general, let alone people of color, regardless of if they're rich or poor. Because just by being a black man in America will be enough to get you in trouble, of course. A whole bunch of shit can happen just by being a black man in America. A lot of us have suffered just by being black men, women, and children in America. And I am very happy that this is almost over. Though it could drag on for a few more years, but at the same time, it's getting somewhere. And I'm sure a lot of us, when we tell stories about the shit that happened to us as children and the fucking scars that we carry, we tend to overstate a few things, but we don't do it intentionally. Because when we get pissed and when we tell stories, we tend to let shit out. Some of it good, other half not so good. But we do our best no matter what. We ain't perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. There ain't no perfect faces in this God's green earth. Okay? We are not perfect. We're not angels, and we don't have no wings unless we die and go to heaven. Only God is perfect. Okay? I'm so glad things are sucking up to Britney right now. Okay? I am rooting for her. And guess what? I'll probably fucking celebrate and go party when I hear that Britney Spears has been terminated from the guardianship. I'll be fucking proud. Man. And I'm glad they're going to call Britney Spears to Congress to address the conservatorship and the guardianship thing and everything else, I do think it's severely broken and it needs to be reformed and fixed. And some limitations need to be set in place so that people that really need conservatorship and guardianship don't have to worry about being further abused, neglected, and isolated by the piece of shit governmental process that has been instituted into law by the founding fathers God knows how many years. And I do believe that Britney, like Amanda Bynes, should have been in a limited conservatorship and guardianship. Because those things do not last very long for people with special needs. It's just temporary. People on partial conservatorships and guardianships, they can get out of it any time. They can make certain decisions that an average person under conservatorship and guardianship would. Okay? So I feel that Britney's conservatorship should have been a little more limited from the get-go. Yes, she needed guidance from what she did years back, from, fucking overdosing, running 2 or more 5150s, and one of which finally led to the 5-day or 1-month hospitalization and the conservatorship, of course. But before all that, she was smashing the car of the paparazzo, smashed the window and everything else, shaving her head bald, driving the car with her kids sitting on her lap, something that James Spears admitted that he had done to Britney as a baby. And, losing custody of her kids due to her addiction. holding up herself and her two kids inside a locked bathroom at the former mansion where she stayed, where the fucking SWAT team had to come in and break down the door and drag out the kids, and then finally Britney restrained to a gurney and all this other stuff. I do believe she needed help then. Back then she needed some very serious help. But now she don't. The only thing she needs now is freedom. And I'm glad it's coming, but slowly though. This is what happens to people that's under conservatorships and guardianships that are just getting out, you know? They start to remove the small parts bit by bit before they remove the big parts and ultimately set those people free. That's usually what happens. It's a transitional phase. I'm glad Britney Spears passed the test this time. And I'm glad she got the last word of the Bessemer Trust. But actually, the judge decided to drop Bessemer estate from Britney Spears estate conservatorship. Now, I am joyed right now over what I just read and what I just heard. Okay, that's why I'm sharing it with you because this is very important. Okay, I like to read and share stories about broken systems and everything else too, and I like to voice my opinions on stuff like this. It's too important, especially in this time of COVID-19. We're still in the pandemic, so yeah, our words need to come out more. Our words need to be spoken, and more truths need to be told. Okay, I'm glad the truth is coming out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you, Brittany. Keep up the good work, man. I'm so glad you're winning the war. You may have lost the battle, but you're definitely winning the war. So, if I hear any more about this in the future, I will bring it out and I'll share it with you once again. I love politics. You know what I'm saying? I'm even thinking about one day starting a television show concerning current events, you know, to voice my opinions and facts about some of the stories that I hear about. The world needs a voice. So far, you got a voice right now, and that's the man in the black mask. That's why I signed up for this channel late last year, because I wanted to lend a voice to some of the things that I might have experienced, that I've seen others go through, and everything else, you know? I just wanted to tell my side of the story in regards to certain topics. And that's why the man in the black mask is here, to make a difference. Someday I'm going to be more famous, I'm going to be bigger. Anyway, thank you for supporting the man in the black mask. Okay? Thank you for continuing to watch and support him. If you have any questions, drop a comment underneath the window and tell me what you think about this happy story indeed. It's a happy one. Don't tell me it's a sad one. It's a happy one. Okay? It's a step in the right direction. As I stated earlier, and I'm stating now, it's a stepping stone in the right direction. Okay? This is a transitional period for Britain. Okay? This is a stepping stone to Britain's future freedom. Okay? Her future is still in the balance, still hanging in the balance. But at the same time, she's going to have a future no matter what when she's out of the conservatorship, which could happen in no time. And I sure hope that Jody Montgomery sticks to her word and file the papers to terminate Britney's guardianship and give her her life back. During at which point James Spears will probably follow suit and let Britney go, let her concentrate on motherhood, let her marry, have as many children as she wants, let her carry the scars, because we all got some fucking scars from our past and everything else, and we can still be productive. Let her carry those scars, but at the same time give her a chance to be productive. Okay? She may still need some guidance, but hopefully not conservatorship guidance, but other guidance too, like therapy and medication and all that, because she's definitely going to need some mental health therapy because she has had a tremendous 13 years. You know what I'm saying? She's been through shit before, during, and most likely after the conservatorship. So yeah, she's going to need intense therapy. So please root for Britney, okay? Root for her. Like, subscribe, drop a question underneath the window of my video. Okay? Tell me what you think. I am dying to hear from you. Until then, good luck, be well, and have a good day. Thank you for your service. If I have another story to bring out, I'll bring it out. If I can find it. Until then, thank you for your service. Bye.